So الضغط على الجسم
صح يعني
So, alright. So the marking of papers and the correction process starts every day at 11 o'clock. And 11 means 1100, not 1102. Please, so we all have to, be accurate in timing. The correction process will start all the time at 11 o'clock in the morning. Before we start the marking papers, we all as a team have to make sure that we have a model answer. We have key answer for the questions. We all have to make sure that all the answers in the model answer paper are correct, and we have no or nothing about the answers there. So, to avoid any problem that might come up during the correction process. So before we start marking the papers, we have to make sure that the model answer is there and all the answers there are correct.
No, I mean lose one. I see what they mean.
We have done this earlier. We did this in the first term. Before we start marking the papers, we have to take 20 papers from each grade and then do a sample. Collect those 20 papers, and then we in the control room will analyze the results and see if the marks assigned for each question are fair to the students or not. So in some cases, we get some papers in which no one in the whole class have answered anything. In that case, we will have to reconsider the distribution of marks in the questions and in the whole paper. So we have to, at the beginning, before we start the correction, we have to take 20 papers, or 20% of the total number of students, and then mark their answer sheets to make sure that the points assigned to each question are fair to them. I think this will be taken care of by you. Okay? Right, okay, so the correction process is happening, horizontally. That means each teacher will have to mark one question only for all the papers. So I, being in the English team or math or science, I will be assigned only to mark question 1, for example, so I'll do question 1 in all the papers. Alright? If I'm done with question 1, does not mean that I have to leave. But I will have to be moving into question 2 or whatever question is assigned to me by the head of the team. Alright? Now, if there are in the team less teachers than the number of questions, in that case, one teacher can have more than one question. Am I clear? So if we are only 2 teachers in that team and we have, let's say, 6 questions in the test paper, then I can do 3 or 4, whatever. But if our team members cover all the questions in the test paper, then each one has to do only 1 question. Okay? What else? Okay. Alright, now, okay, all those questions which need explanation, I would call them open-end questions. Those are usually marked by the subject teacher, by the one or the class teacher. So if in English, for example, I have a writing in which they have to write an essay, that writing question is usually marked by the class teacher only. Alright? If there's a question, let's say, about a story, and then I have in the team someone who never taught that class or that grade or that book, then that open-end question about the story have to be marked by the teacher who teaches that story or who have taught that class. Is this clear? Okay. Alright, if at any point any conflict rises there in the team between 2 members about an answer, this could happen sometimes. If I am saying that this answer is right and somebody else in the team is saying this answer is wrong, then in that case the one who takes the final decision and is decided upon is by the head of the team. So if there is any conflict, it has to be settled and decided by the head of the team. No, by the head of the team. All right? Now, he will take a decision in regard to that. He might say, the class teacher will decide, or he might, consult the class teacher. But the final decision is the one that is taken by the head of the team. Okay? معلش بس نخلص بعدك يا مجرد. Okay? Thank you. Okay, for every test paper you will find a cover page in which we have to write the score for each question in numbers and in words. That paper is considered as top official paper. So any marking in it will have to be responsible. We only write the score for each question in numbers and words, and we have to sign. If I'm correcting that question in red, I will have to sign outside in the cover page on red next to the question, which I already marked inside the paper. And the one who checks or who edits, again will have to sign on the cover page next to the question that he or she has audited or checked in the test paper. Okay. That's one thing we've got now, which we never had before. I think this is going to be new for you all. Now, the correct answer, never put a tick or an X on the test paper. If the answer is correct, you only have to write the points next to that question. Like how many points for that question? 2, then I will write only 2. 3, I will write only 3. With no ticks and no X.